Hello, everyone. My name is Charlie Berger, and welcome to today's Analytics and Data Techcast. This Techcast is being recorded, just so you know, so it's available for on-demand viewing later on. And hello, my name is Charlie Berger. I'm your host for today's Analytics and Data Techcast, which will follow immediately following this brief introduction. My background in relationship to the Techcast is essentially, I've been associated with this group of people that run the Analytics and Data Summits and the Techcast for quite a number of years now. I'm actually one of the co-founders with Sham Nath, another fine fellow, and with the help of many hardworking people, we've been pulling off these summits and Techcasts, and we'll have more about that later on. In today's Techcast, we're going to have a very great speaker for you today. We've asked David to come on early because he's also going to be presenting at the Analytics and Data Summit in February, and he and his company have, I think, 3 different talks, if I have that right. And we said, let's give a little bit of a teaser, a little bit of a preview of what's coming. And so we've asked him to come on today and give a 30-minute teaser, if you will. So today's Techcast is an Analytics and Data Techcast, customer journey from vision to delivery, where he's going to talk in detail about, I think it's 3 different customer use cases, after which we'll have a brief Q&A. As I said, the Techcast is being recorded, and you can get this later on. Also, it will be posted on YouTube with the hashtag #AND Techcast. You'll see that later on, and you can come back to the main page to see it. During a little bit of housekeeping as we go through this, there is a button at the bottom called Q&A. We'd ask you to mostly submit your questions on the Q&A button, and then David will answer those. Also, the slide presentation will be published as well. I forgot to mention that. And lastly, before we dive into this, I did want to make a plea or a request or a suggestion that that you on the line may want to consider delivering a Techcast as well. We always say everyone has a lot of knowledge and expertise and tips and tricks in using the Oracle technologies, and the idea of the Analytics and Data user community and the Analytics and Data Techcasters to share that with others. So you'll submit them on the main page. If you can go to the next page, David, on the main page of the Analytics and Data Summit, you see a lot of information there about the upcoming summit. We'll talk about that later on. But also on the top, you'll see Techcasts. And if you click on that, it'll go down to listing all the Techcasts. That's probably how you got here. And you can also submit a Techcast and share your expertise or knowledge, because you probably know something that other people don't know, or we just like to see how people use the technologies. And another thing that we've instituted is if you do get a Techcast submitted and accepted, you also earn yourself a free registration pass for the next year's Analytics and Data Summit. And so with that, I will turn it over to David, and take it away, David. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that. Very good introduction. Guys, just to introduce myself again, my name is David Herity, Business Development Manager at Vertice. And I'll give you an introduction to who Vertice are in just a minute. I just want to highlight the agenda today. So as I give an introduction, then we'll go into the kind of use cases. And today we're talking about 3 use cases, and more specifically, the customer journey in analytics. These are 3 customers that I've worked very close with. One of those is Trinity College Dublin. That's based here in Dublin in Ireland. We have Eaglemoss Collections up next, and then we have On Post. And don't worry, I'll give an introduction into those customers and what kind of business they do as well. Then we'll kind of wrap it up at the end with a bit of customer success, and I'll definitely leave time for Q&A, as Charlie mentioned. Just want to note that we have some helpful links in here, and they'll be shared within the chat box later on in the Techcast. So if you guys want to get hands-on with Oracle Autonomous Cloud, there's a link to do so. There's also a hands-on lab for developers link. There's some really useful links here where you can get your hands on Oracle products and get learning and get them. I really recommend if you haven't. Yeah.
Can I interrupt you? I'm so sorry. I just realized I did not do your biography or your introduction.
That's no problem.
Just briefly, just a real quick one. David Herity, he joined Vertice in 2016 as an analytics consultant, and he has helped implement and deliver the world's first Oracle Analytics Cloud implementation. And then he's doing a few other ones. He speaks at different conferences. He's got Oracle Excellence Awards and so on. He's a very modest fellow. He can tell you more later on, but my apologies for not having shared that with the audience. back to you.
Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that. So I do recommend you guys use some of these links and get involved with Oracle Cloud if you have not done yet. There's lots of information available online and you can get started very, very easily. And you can reach out to myself and Charlie, no doubt, if you have any questions around any of those kind of autonomous products. Especially get onto Charlie if you're looking into machine learning or advanced analytics capabilities within Oracle. So for those of you who don't know who Vertees are, we are an Oracle-only Platinum partner, and we've won successive multiple Oracle Global Excellence Awards. And the great thing is that OnPost was one of the customers who received one of those awards back in 2017. They were the first customer to have Oracle Analytics Cloud implemented. We were the partner that implemented that, and we're very happy to say that we were in San Francisco with OpenWorld that year with OnPost collecting that award. We're also recognized as Oracle Ireland Partner of the Year in 2018 and 2019. We're established, accomplished, and respected in the industry. And it's actually our 10-year anniversary this year as well, so 10 years in business. So looking forward to the celebrations this year. So the analytics journey, today's Techcast is based around the customer journey in analytics. When we work with customers, we take them on this journey, and usually they have a vision for where they'd like to be in the analytics space. We then enable them to reach their goals by putting a strategy in place, and this takes them from vision to actual delivery of that vision. If we work with a customer who doesn't have analytics in place, we start by implementing descriptive analytics. This in turn sets up stronger data governance, as this phase is where processes for release management, version control, data integrity, and cleansing are usually established. Having stronger data governance then allows our customers to move on to the next stage when you're into predictive analytics or self-service. And this allows customers and users to get more hands-on with the data that's available to them, and this results in improved user productivity and user adoption. Now finally, we can begin the augmented analytics phase, as we have processes in place for stronger data governance, and now we have users becoming more self-sufficient and who understand the technology a lot better. So that allows us to look to augmented analytics and then becoming a data-driven customer. And with each step up on the analytics journey from descriptive analytics, we're gaining more business value, and we're also getting better data agility. And what I think is really interesting is that the customers I'll now speak about are all at different stages in their own analytics journey that Vertees are guiding them through. So those use cases are, number one, we have Trinity College Dublin and their public sector educational institute in Dublin, Ireland. Next, we have Eaglemoss Collections. They're a private sector e-commerce business, and they're based in London in the UK. And lastly, I'll talk about OnPost, who are again public sector. They're postal services with lots more services around telecommunications, utilities, banking, and retail. And they're based in Dublin in Ireland. Go through each use case with you now so you can see where they are in the journey and the vision that they have in place. First up, we have Trinity College Dublin. Trinity College is widely considered one of the most prestigious universities in Ireland, and if you look up Trinity on Google, you'll see why. You'll see some really impressive buildings dating back to the late 1500s when it was established, and the university now occupies 47 acres of land, so quite impressive. Located in College Green in Dublin, and when I say Trinity are an existing Oracle customer, what I mean by that is they already had some Oracle install on premise when we began working with them, and that was Oracle Business Intelligence, Enterprise Edition, BI Applications, and eBusiness Suite as their source. And on the EPM side, we implemented Planning and Budgeting Cloud Service for Trinity in autumn of last year. So in terms of the analytics journey, Trinity are currently planning for a hybrid cloud analytics and data management solution. And that would be comprised of the logical upgrade path from OBIEE being Oracle Analytics Server, which is basically a server for business analytics that sits on premise but is accessible via the cloud. And then you have the full cloud offering, which is Oracle Analytics Cloud, the Autonomous Data Warehouse, Oracle Data Integrator for ETL to extract from multiple sources, and looking at an eBusiness Suite to move to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure also. And that is around finance and operations data at present. So their vision, as I mentioned, the analytics journey, they're planning for cloud analytics and data management. OBIEE and BI Apps has been optimized. So I'll talk about that briefly. Then again, Oracle Analytics Server is the logical upgrade path from OBIEE. And I've mentioned these other technology products in the previous slide also. So a bit of duplication there, apologies. So on to Destination Insight. Donald Milne, who is seen in the picture here, is our sponsor in Trinity for Analytics, and he recently appeared on Bruno Aziz's Destination Insight. Bruno is the Oracle Global Vice President for Analytics, and there's a link there if you guys want to have a look at that video to see what Donald was speaking about. What he did talk about was why he chose Oracle for Analytics. He also mentioned their plans for the future, and he mentioned some important aspects to consider when moving to the cloud. So if any of you guys on here today are considering a move to the cloud, I would check out this video as you get some helpful insights from Donald. Donald says in this video that their success in analytics is all about managing people, and it's not about managing technology. He focuses on the requirements. He says the technology needs to meet the requirements and not make the requirements fit into the technology. And I absolutely agree with Donald here. It's important to get the requirements right when starting off on an analytics journey, because it can be hard then at a later stage in the process of implementation to change requirements. And you also need to keep your user base satisfied, as they are the people who will be using the technology on a daily basis. So with 2,000 analytics users across the university at any time, this wasn't going to be an easy task for Donald. He found that they all need data in the same methodology, so they want the same single user interface. They want the data to be easy to understand for increased user adoption, and they needed confidence that it is up to date and of course accurate. As previously there was lots of manual processes and there was spreadsheets galore, and this meant data was not up to date and errors were common. He also had to consider the various sources in their data landscape, such as eBusiness Suite Financials. You have SITS, which is their student information system, KX for accommodation catering, and then Core HR for human resources. And these kind of sources would be common to most universities in Ireland and the UK that we have dealt with. So all things considered, the first step then in the analytics journey to get descriptive analytics and stronger data governance was to optimize the OBIEE and BI apps installed in there. The following modules were included in this phase. You had financials, procure to spend, projects, so this was no easy task, guys. Plus you had OBIEE customer reports built on eBusiness Suite, and there was approximately 650 of these reports. These are now operable prior to original requirements that were not previously delivered. So prior to Vertees being engaged with Trinity College Dublin, their OBIEE, the eBusiness Suite and BI Apps was not being utilised and was not delivered to the prior original requirements. And we've also, within that process of optimization, we have optimized performance of some of those reports. And there's also upgrades to replace Informatica with Oracle Data Integrator, thus Oracle Data Integrator then becoming the enterprise ETL tool, and maybe their first step towards a cloud migration. As now ODI has replaced Informatica, Trinity can look to bringing on wider sources, different systems, and possibly move that to the cloud with ODI. So basically, descriptive analytics is in place in terms of disseminated dashboards within OBIEE and BI Apps. So that was their first step towards cloud analytics. So on the analytics journey, they're basically on the first step of the graph that I showed you, getting stronger data governance in place, putting processes in place to allow them to move on to the next phase of where they want to be on the journey. So on to use case number 2, we have Eaglemoss collections. And Eaglemoss collections are e-commerce store selling collectibles, magazines, and merchandise. And typically these would be around Marvel, Star Wars, Star Trek, Game of Thrones, kind of figurines, magazines, and merchandise. Eaglemoss are located in London in the United Kingdom, and they're a new Oracle customer. So previously they did not have any Oracle within their architecture. And just before Christmas, they went live on phase 1 in cloud analytics and data management. And that solution was comprised of Oracle Analytics Cloud, the Autonomous Data Warehouse, and Oracle Data Integrator. And that was around subscriptions data. So who is subscribing to these kind of collectibles and magazines? And they built some KPIs around number of new customers within a period, number of acquisitions within a period. So just some examples of the KPIs that were built in phase one. Eaglemoss have worldwide data partners, and this was given data integrity issues. Their key customer data is stored across these siloed databases and across multiple regions as well. So they're unable to get a consolidated view of customer behavior. And up until September last year, Eaglemoss business was run using spreadsheets, siloed data sources, until they decided they wanted an enterprise analytics and data management solution. Part of this reason as well was because they had creation and sharing of Excel reports from the individual reporting hubs, and this was time consuming and was not providing the information that the business leaders wanted. So they wanted to get quicker insights. The old data warehouse was also unable to provide an acceptable query performance, so hence why they chose to go with Oracle Analytics Cloud and the Autonomous Data Warehouse. So Eaglemoss in the analytics journey, their first step. We're now solving the single source of the truth argument with Eaglemoss, with OEC and ADW being key components of this resolution. OEC has also helped to point out data errors and allowed Eaglemoss pinpoint sources and data partners that needed to put stronger governance into place. They can also now track core business channel KPIs, whereas previously they were unable to do so. Through these KPIs, key trends can be monitored, resulting in possible further analysis, and they can now get quicker insights through OEC. So no longer do they have to wait to get access through these multiple spreadsheets and get answers. They can now get it instantly by logging into Oracle Analytics Cloud. And now they can also give their users access and allow them to become more self-sufficient with their data. They find OEC very beneficial because they can access it from any device with a browser, as it's a cloud-based solution. And they also have trusted data again, as we've ensured that it is disseminated, governed, and secured. My final use case today then is OnPost. OnPost are a state-owned provider of postal services in the Republic of Ireland. And as I mentioned, they also provide services around telecommunications, banking, retail, and utilities. OnPost are located on O'Connell Street in Dublin, Ireland, and it's in the very historical General Post Office building just seen in the previous slide. OnPost were an existing Oracle customer, so they had some Oracle install before Vertees became their expert service and advisory partner, and this was over 8 years ago, so we have been working with OnPost for quite a number of years, even before my time at Vertees. OnPost are now moving towards a cloud solution for augmented analytics and data management. They're the most mature customer in terms of where they are in the analytics journey, as we have been working with them and delivering their vision for so long. So OnPost are considering Oracle Analytics Server as the logical upgrade path from OBIEE, and they already have Oracle Analytics Cloud, Autonomous Data Warehouse, and ODI in place. And the first step then for them to the cloud was Customer Analytics, which is live on OAC, and I'll go through what Customer Analytics is now in just one moment. The second step was then a single customer view, which is in progress on ADW and OAC. So that's in a proof of concept phase. So customer analytics then, the business case behind this was that the mails business was in decline, which we found common to all postal groups in the EMEA region. Not too sure if this is common in your region also, guys, so you might tell me later on in the chat if this is so. And we think this is due to an increasingly competitive market, so basically competitors are offering cheaper alternatives to send your letters. Parcels business, on the other hand, is on the increase. This could be down to better Wi-Fi, larger phones. It's basically easier to buy items online and get them sent to your door. Thus, OnPost key focus for new revenue was on the parcels business. So this then led to them offering new service and related technology innovations. The business innovation was through a marketing campaign around the parcels business, which was called the World Wide Open. So OnPost were basically going at the parcels business with this campaign, heavily marketing through advertisements on radio, television, and also around on billboards around the country of Ireland. And then there's related technological innovations as well behind this marketing campaign. And one of those was the Customer Experience Management Dashboard. This is basically the customer analytics project that was built in Oracle Analytics Cloud. I'm just going to take you through what that actually looked like and talk about that as I go through these screenshots with you. So this is a customer logging into the CXM dashboard. Example here, we have Amazon. So a customer in this context is an alternate parcel delivery business that uses On Post to get their parcels from door to door around Ireland. They usually focus on 2-day period here, as you can see, showing a date between 2 days. And there's a number of user-friendly prompts to filter the data. See, there's a date group. They can go last 2 days, last 7 days, last 14 days, or they can put in a custom period. And we also show them the last hour that the data refresh took place in the data warehouse. So it's really simple bar charts, KPIs around items, total pre-advised, successfully delivered, items that were not delivered. So the important thing is here that they're focusing on what has not been delivered, because On Post have SLAs with their customers. So when a customer logs in here, they're going to go to kind of an exceptional reporting and drill in and see why their items have not yet been delivered. When they're in this detail view, they can go one step further out of Oracle Analytics Cloud. And this will take them back into the actual source, which is On Post's track and trace portal. And they can reconcile the data here and see the absolute last update to their parcels. And then there's just some other views for the customers to see. We have some performance files here, and these numbers make up all the same metrics on the first page. Just depending on what the customer wants to see, they have a choice of doing so. And then we have some spatial graphs in here as well. So we can focus on what has been successfully delivered, what is out for delivery, or what has not yet been delivered. Then the customers can click on what has not been delivered and drill into the detail and find out why it hasn't been delivered. This map is really useful because it can help to target problem areas around the country. The final view here we have actually came from customer feedback. So On Post iterated feedback with one of their customers called Arvado, and this is the kind of view that they want to see in the CXM dashboard. So it was great to hear that customers were given feedback and On Post implemented it then in Oracle Analytics Cloud. So some return on investment has been seen from customer analytics within On Post. Through Oracle Cloud, they've optimized process efficiency, so that's On Post and all customers equally. So rather than having to pick up the phone and ring your customer account manager, the customers can now be more self-sufficient and log into Oracle Analytics Cloud and get these answers themselves. Also reduced costs, so between 2 and 3 days of manual effort reduced per month. OEC has helped with business retention also, so keeping customers using their services. And it's also helped with new business, and the case that I used there in the previous slide was Arvato. This was the customer who gave feedback on the dashboards. Customer analytics is seen as a strong USP basically, which has attained this new customer. So great stuff for On Post from Oracle Analytics Cloud thus far. And so OEC aligns to the recent growth in On Post. And I'm not saying it is the only component that allowed On Post to go from a negative to a positive in 2017 in terms of revenue, but it definitely has aligned to the growth and is recognized as a contributing factor within the organization. So that's the end of the use cases. So to wrap up the 3 use cases then, I know we covered it a lot there, so hopefully you guys have stayed with me throughout this Techcast. If you want me to hone in on anything specifically, just let me know in the chat bot, the Q&A section. Trinity College Dublin, their first step in analytics journey was by optimizing their on-premise OBIEE and BI apps. Finally see return on investment in that solution. They also putting in stricter release management processes, enabling stronger governance within their BI teams. Then we had Eaglemoss first step in cloud analytics on OAC and ADW for a single source of the truth and to get much quicker insights and answer questions on their data, all of which they were not able to do before choosing Oracle for cloud analytics. And then on post, so a number of years into their analytics journey, having gone from descriptive to predictive and now moving into augmented analytics on a proof of concept basis. Due to go live in coming weeks on OEC and ADW, thus making them more data driven, aligning to their organization and digital transformation changes. And looking to the future then, this is where all of our customers want to be in their analytics journey, but they need to take the necessary steps, we think, to get where to which they is exactly what they're doing. We're ensuring we enable our customers to get to where they want to be on their journey. They want to become data-driven companies, making decisions based on the analytics presented to them in Oracle Cloud. To conclude, we've looked at 3 different customers across multiple industry verticals, different sizes varying from SME to large organizations, offering different goods and services. But the key thing here is they're all using Oracle Cloud to allow them to become or look to becoming a data-driven company and to take them to where they want to be on the analytics journey. Just to wrap it up then, just a bit of generic customer success within Vertees. Here's some of the verticals that we have provided services across. So not just specific to retail, we've also done work in technology, utilities, right the way through to the education sector. This is our spread across Western Europe. I'm hoping to be able to update this slide in the coming weeks with more customer success and Oracle reference cases from analytics, ERP, data integration, EPM, data management, and everything combined. And for all this work then, we've won some nice awards in the process. And as I mentioned at the start of the presentation, these are successful multiple Oracle Global Excellence Awards, hoping to nail in another 1 or 2 of those in the coming months this year. More locally then, in the UK Oracle User Group, we've won awards year on year in analytics and data integration, and successful Oracle Ireland Partner of the Year awards were noticed as in 2018 and 2019. And if any of you guys are over at the Analytics and Data Summit in Santa Clara in California at the end of February, myself and Abby Giles Haig will be presenting over there, so please do come along, say hello. On the Tuesday, we're presenting on Trinity. Then Thursday, we have this presentation, but I'll actually be on stage presenting this time. And then Thursday, again, we have fraud analytics to be confirmed.
David, we do have one question that has come up.
Great stuff.
The question is, how was secured OAC in the use case for Eaglemoss, from Eduardo Alonso?
Thanks, Eduardo. So the Oracle Analytics Cloud in the use case for Eaglemoss was secured through Identity Cloud Service. So when you purchase a subscription of OAC, you get Identity Cloud Service, which basically allows you to manage all your users, their roles, and access to applications. So this is how we secured access to OAC. There is no data level filtering at the moment, but Eaglemoss are looking to have data level filtering in place. So when a certain user logs into the dashboard, they can only see subscriptions, and when another user logs in, they can only see eShop, for example. So at the moment it's light. It was a pilot phase 1, so they wanted to see a quick return of investment in 35 days, which we have now delivered, and we're now looking to roll this out further across multiple sources in phase 2 in the coming weeks. So hopefully after phase 2, then we'll have another nice presentation to be able to present back to you guys.
David, I've got a question here about AnPost being a government agency and they're storing their data up on the cloud. Were there any kind of issues, concerns? I mean, does the data have to be in a cloud that's in Ireland or in, somewhere nearby, or how's that, the government issue of data in the cloud? Could you talk to that?
Yeah, no problem, Charlie. That's a good question. So there was no restrictions around the data center. They chose to go with the data center in Frankfurt at the time was the closest one. So at the time that was perfect for them. And then in terms of security, we have getting a little bit more technical here now. We have a virtual private database that basically when one customer logs in, they can only see their own data. And what a virtual private database does, it basically looks at a security table and checks what customer ID is assigned to the person logging in, and it appends this customer ID to every report across the dashboard. So no customers were seeing other data that they shouldn't see. So those were two key aspects in OnPost using OAC in the cloud. And then moving towards, it's called a midterm conversion, getting from Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Classic over to the new Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, which probably the guys don't really need to worry about, but we need to worry about because we need to move OnPost over. But then we have Identity Cloud Service available to use for OnPost to be much more secure and robust in setting up their users' application roles and so on. I hope that answered your question, Charlie.
Yeah, that's the question. I have one other question here that's showing up. Can you talk a little bit about the futures? You were talking about machine learning for OnPost. What would that be? What kind of use cases would they have there?
Yeah, no problem. So OnPost have gone through an organizational change in the last year or so. So a new CEO has been appointed, and he has also appointed a new Chief Digital Officer. So they're going through a digital transformation also. And as part of this digital transformation, they want to be more customer centric. At the moment, they don't have visibility across different business areas of the same customer. So Charlie, you could purchase a credit card and you could send a letter, but the guys in the two business areas wouldn't be able to tell if you were the same customer. So at the moment, there is a customer segmentation using Oracle Analytics Cloud and the Autonomous Data Warehouse. And there will be clustering as well to enable the sales and marketing teams to better kind of target their customers and create campaigns tailored specific to their customers, the different demographics that they have and so on. So that's one use case that they're looking at. I know the kind of hot topic at the moment is fraud analytics. So having OAC and ADW enables them to look at that then thereafter. But at the moment, the key focus is the customer segmentation in OnPost.
Okay, great. I don't know if anybody has any more questions coming in. I type them in real quickly if you have any. I don't see any. So maybe we should just go to, if they come in, we'll come back, but let's go on to the wrap up, I suppose. The next slide. That's you. Oh, okay.
Sorry, Charlie.
Okay, okay. You already put that. So the links that David just showed are also in the chat window, so you can get access to all those things there. They're also in the presentation when you get the downloaded presentation. You know, on the website, you get it from there. I am supposed to now wrap up and talk to you about what's coming next, and we have some great Techcasts that we've already done in the past, which you can see. They're all recorded. We've done a bunch of good ones here. My favorite one was we did something called the Analytics Bunch last week as a special one where we had several of us all sort of talking about our favorite talks, including like this one that's coming up at the Analytics and Data Summit. So feel free to go back and look at the previous webcast. The upcoming Techcasts are February 6th. We're going to have Philippe Leon and Matt Medine, who are both in product management for the Oracle Analytics Cloud. So they're Oracle people, and they're going to talk about what's new with Oracle Analytics Cloud and making the most of autonomous data warehouse features. So I like that because in certain cases, what they do is from OAC, they do database queries that are sort of intelligent, or maybe using machine learning, or doing, certain kind of push down functions, which is really, I think, a really clever use of it. So tune in for that on the 6th. And on the 20th, we have an Oracle ACE director, Gary Christie, who is really good also. And he's going to be talking about S-based kind of use cases with modernizing intercompany billing using Hyperledger Fabric Distributed Ledger. So how can you miss that? That's a pretty good title. So please dial in for those. These will all be posted. Can you go to the next slide, please? And then I guess on the previous slide, I forgot to mention, you too can submit your own Techcast. We'd love to hear from everyone. This is meant to be like an open mic forum for people to share what's working well, what's not working well, what tips and tricks. I mean, we're all just trying to learn from each other. And the best place to do that in the very, very near future is to join us at the Analytics and Data Summit. It's what we say, all analytics, all data, and no nonsense. So we have 3 days of 6 parallel tracks. They're all hands-on labs, detailed technical dives. You have a technical question, ask it there, you'll get an answer there, probably 5 different answers from 5 or more different experts, or 10, or there's a lot of people there. And so please join us for that. Registration, just go to the analyticsanddatasummit.org website. It's about $549. Sometimes if you go to the, if you follow us on Twitter and you go to the Twitter pages, sometimes there's discount codes that'll save you a little bit of money. Check out for those too. And with that, I think we are